So, Chris, what kind of budget is needed for success on Google Ads for small businesses? Are we talking a monthly budget of
Ooh,
5,000, 10,000, $100? How much does it take to have success as a small business on Google Ads monthly budget?
this we've said it many times. My and your least favorite question, and unfortunately, I don't know if I've gotten any better at answering this question, but I'll give it another crack here. My thought on the right kind of budget is going to be a combination of how fast, which I've alluded to before in our perfectly lined out questions. So sequentially, I have already laid out, what success looks
Spell
like.
sequentially.
Oh,
Don't say words on the show to sound good just because you are able to pronounce things better than me if you can't spell.
That is
Just start us. Hold on. I'm gonna just for fun. We're trying to have fun. Let's just see how many words you get in here, Chris, or how many letters. Just go sequentially. Go ahead. Let's see how many letters you can get. Hold on. People are gonna do their little over under bets right now. I'm gonna go with 5 letters. I'm gonna take the.
I don't have to go past. As soon as I get one wrong, I don't have to go any further, right?
If you get, yeah, exactly.
Okay,
I'm gonna take the under on 5 sequentially. Say it and then spell it. And if you want a definition, I can do it. It's a spelling bee.
I don't need that crap. I'm gonna get it wrong. S E Q U I.
Yes. Yes. Under the 5, I won my bet. It's actually E. So.
Oh.
But go ahead and carry on with your eloquent statement you were trying to pronunciate there.
I was trying to compliment
if you're talking about sequentially, these sequential questions.
The questions. I was complimenting your questions, and you tell me to spell sequentially. I can barely say it. Okay. What was I talking about? Oh, the budget. Okay, how much?
It's a good question.
So, if you want to move quickly, it feels like the sense of urgency is always going to determine how much you should spend. Okay, if you have a high sense of urgency, my suggestion is that you spend more because you need to take bigger risks to jump further, faster. You need to rev the Google Ads engine higher and faster and move quickly through the learning phase and get more, because it will take longer. Time passes at the same rate, but the amount of clicks you get can be accelerated or decelerated, okay?
Sure.
Now, if you aren't in a big hurry, then really the answer, if you don't have any kind of stress and you're moving at you want to test it out, you don't have any kind of, time barrier you're coming up against, in that case, just pick a budget that you could potentially, and this is the worst case scenario, that you could get nothing out of. If you could drop $1,000, $2,000 on something and you don't really get any kind of lift from it, but you do want to try it, you hear a lot about it, you trust what you hear, do something that won't wipe you out and you can afford to just lose it. I don't think that's what's going to happen. Certainly, if you give me a call, you're not going to just get nothing out of it. But
you never know.
You never know.
Nobody's perfect. Life is.
You might have a crappy product. You might have the worst product, service, website, whatever, and my superior management services would still fail.
You might have the worst employee ever, and every time the phone rings when they're supposed to book over or answer the call, they just get mad and hang up. Yeah, so you never know, and life is gambling, Chris. And in this case, a month or two, if you can totally lose that money, and you pick that amount, that's a good gamble, because the odds are that's not going to happen. And the odds are, if you work with someone good or you take the time to learn Google Ads, you're going to figure it out over a few months. And the odds are that you will have an upside that produces profitable clients or customers for your business for the rest of your business life.
Yeah.
That's the very likely scenario. And so downside, let's totally be conservative and say the downside is your total budget for those 1 or 2 months. Let's say that. It's not going to happen with us, but let's say it. The upside is you're going to have a source of business that's profitable and prints 3, 4, 5 or more times the money you put into it for the rest of your business career. That's a huge upside, and that's a very, very small, limited downside. So it's like a good bet. And if you think that way, I think that helps you pick a budget. But if they're trying to still say, what is the dollar amount, Chris? I don't even know small businesses, sometimes they say, I don't know what I'm comfortable with.
Yeah.
Here's some metrics they could use. I like saying something that can last you for 3 months, something that you're comfortable with spending for 3 months.
Okay.
Like, don't spend $5,000 in the first month and then get a little bit concerned and want to spend $200 in each of the next 2 months. Smooth that out. Spend $5,400 divided by 3 months. Spend something you're comfortable spending steadily for 3 months, because we just talked about that timeline of dialing it over the course of 3 months. I'd say 1,000 or more is preferred. Doesn't mean I'm saying 10,000 or 20,000 or even 4,000 or 3,000. I'm just saying 1,000 or more, meaning anything above 1,000 for most industries is usually enough for most industries to get a big enough daily budget compared to the cost per click, and you can start rolling. That said, some small businesses don't want to spend 1,000 a month. I think 500 is doable. I honestly do think it's doable. You can play around with days of the week, Chris, and not run every day, and then have a larger daily budget compared to the cost per click. And you can figure things out at a $500 a month budget, and you can actually get business in a lot of industries. Under 500, Chris, 100 a month, 200, 300, 400. I'm going to say it's possible, but you better have one simple campaign.
Yeah,
I've seen some clients where I was doing consulting for them, and they were in kind of like a medical space where they do a certain kind of medical practice with people, and they're just looking for a couple clients a month. There's not many searches at all, even in major metro areas, for this kind of service. But when people do search it and you're there, they're going to book with you. They were spending like $250 a month. It got them a couple extra clients each month and diversified their business sources, and it worked for them. So under 500 is possible, but whenever you do under 500, it's almost always like one very simple, very straightforward campaign.
Yeah.